Let's be honest, mate. Just live in the present sounds fantastic, doesn't it? It's wonderful advice until the mortgage bill arrives, until the doctor calls with results, until you're looking at your bank account wondering how you'll make it to the end of the month, right? You see all these gurus floating on their Instagram clouds telling you don't worry, just be, trust the universe. And you want to, you really do, but your mind won't stop. It's screaming, isn't it? That quiet, constant whisper in the back of your head. But what about the rent? What about this diagnosis? What about my kid's future? What if I lose my job? What if I end up alone? Let's just pause and call that what it is. Because the self-help industry loves to label this as a blockage or a low vibration. Rubbish. That is not some vague, abstract neurosis. That is the anxiety of survival. It's the most real, most human, most fundamental fear there is. It's that cold knot in your stomach at 3 a.m. It's that tightness in your chest when you think about next year. It's the fear of tomorrow, the fear of not having enough, the fear of not being enough, the fear of losing control over the things you love. And it is utterly exhausting, because we've been taught our entire lives that there's only one way to fight this fear, one game to play. The solution, they say, is control. The antidote is planning. The goal is security. So we spend our entire lives trying to secure the unsecurable. We start building a wall around ourselves, brick by painful brick. A good job with a steady paycheck? That's a brick. A fat retirement plan? That's a big brick. A health insurance policy with all the extras? Brick. A stable, predictable relationship? Brick. We hustle. We grind. We worry. We tell ourselves, if I just build this wall high enough, if I can just get that promotion, that savings number, then I will finally be safe. Then the fear can't get me. Then I can finally relax. But, sigh, you and I both know how this story goes, don't we? You're living it. The higher the wall, the more you have to lose. The more secure your life becomes, the more terrified you are of the one thing that's guaranteed to come: change. The wall doesn't keep the fear out. It just traps you inside with it. It becomes your prison. So why? Why does every single attempt we make to feel secure just end up making us feel more profoundly insecure? It's because we've bought into a massive, fundamental social lie. A lie about how life actually works. And that lie is this. It's the central promise of our entire civilization. It's what our parents told us, what our schools taught us, what our bosses demand from us. The lie is that you can and you must trade your present for a secure future. Work hard today, they say. Suffer a little now. Worry about the details. Plan for every contingency. Climb the ladder. And then, one day, tomorrow, you will finally be safe and happy. Rubbish. Complete and utter rubbish. When is tomorrow? Have you ever arrived there? You wake up in the morning, and guess what? It's today. It is always today. You have been chasing a horizon that moves every time you take a step. It is the ultimate carrot on a stick, and we are the donkeys chasing it until we collapse from exhaustion, never realizing the carrot is tied to our own back. It's like buying a non-refundable first-class train ticket to a station that simply does not exist. You spend your whole life sitting on this train, clutching your ticket, looking anxiously out the window, but you refuse to actually see the beautiful, terrifying, real countryside that's flashing past you every second. You're too busy checking your watch, worrying about the schedule, planning your arrival, all for a destination that is nothing but a word on a piece of paper. You are living in a permanent illusion, constantly sacrificing the only thing you ever have this very second, this breath, this heartbeat, for a future that does not exist. It's a phantom. And this constant sacrifice, this impossible trade, is the very source of your fear. Now, let's be clear, mate. This isn't an argument against paying your bills. This isn't some airy-fairy, new age fantasy about manifesting your rent away while you sit on a cushion. I'm a realist. You've got to do the work. Bills have to be paid. This is about the energy underneath the work. It's not about the action. It's about the anxiety. It's about that frantic, desperate, white-knuckled clutching that's running in the background of your mind 24/7. Why are you so anxious? Because you fear the future. Why do you fear the future? Because it's uncertain. Why are you trying so hard to make it certain? Because society sold you the lie that certainty equals happiness. But it doesn't, and it's impossible. The very effort to make the uncertain certain is the definition of insanity. It is the anxiety. Your fear, you see, is not actually of the future. Your fear is born from your attempt to control the future. The problem isn't the unknown, it's your desperate, crippling need to know. The more you clench your fist to hold on to the water of life, the faster it slips through your fingers. The tighter you grasp for security, the more slippery and elusive and terrifying life becomes. You cannot win this game. The game itself is rigged. The only way to win is to refuse to play. Alan Watts knew this. He saw this trap with absolute, devastating clarity. And in his masterpiece, The Wisdom of Insecurity, a book that is more relevant today than the day it was written, he offered a solution. But it wasn't a new plan. It wasn't a 5-step guide to better security. It was the complete, radical opposite. It's not about seeking safety. It's about learning to do something much, much scarier. And that scary thing is this: to stop seeking security altogether, to stop playing the game. The antidote to your fear, the real antidote, is not security. It is insecurity, fully embraced. It's learning to live with the uncertainty, to welcome it, to stop fighting it. This is the entire wisdom of insecurity, right there. Now, this is the exact point where most inspiration channels will just check out. They'll give you a beautiful, poetic metaphor. They'll tell you to be like the sky, or just float down the river. Scoffs. Right, that's lovely, but it's absolutely useless when you're staring at that stack of bills or waiting for that call back from the doctor. It's what I call content thinness. So, let's go deeper, as we always do here on this channel. This is our USP. We're not just going to give you the poetry. We're going to give you the psychological mechanism that Alan Watts identified. He gave it a name, and it is the key to unlocking this entire mess. He called it the backwards law. The backwards law. It's so simple, it's devastating. And you already know it's true from your own life. The more you consciously try to be happy, the more you become aware of your own unhappiness, and the more anxious you get. The more you try to relax, the more tense you become. The more you desperately try to fall asleep, the more awake you feel. Ever tried to force yourself to let go? It's impossible. The very effort of trying to let go is just another form of clenching. This time onto the idea of letting go. It's like trying to not think of a white bear for the next 10 seconds. Go on. Try. The very effort guarantees failure. Or it's like trying to make muddy water clear by swishing your hand around in it. You just make it murkier. The only way is to let it be. And the backwards law applies perfectly to security. The more you frantically try to be secure, the more you feel the ground shifting beneath your feet. The more you try to control life, the more you feel utterly out of control. Your entire life's effort has been pushing against this unchangeable law, and that is why you are so tired. You've been trying to force open a door that clearly says, pull, so here it is. This is the Kao Trao. This is the great liberating truth at the absolute heart of Watts's work. The thing you are chasing, perfect, permanent security, does not exist. It's a ghost, it's an illusion, it's a concept made up by the human mind, which is terrified of change and terrified of death. It is not real. You cannot secure a river. You cannot nail a cloud to the sky. And you cannot secure a life that is, by its very definition, a process of constant, unpredictable change. And here is the punchline. The final, beautiful punchline that changes the entire game. You don't need it. You never did. You have survived every single worst day of your life so far. You are here now. The only real security, Watts wrote, the only real sanity lies in the complete acceptance of our insecurity. It is the ability to live fully and presently in a universe that is fundamentally, inescapably, and gloriously insecure. You don't need a secure future. You just need the capacity to live in an insecure present. And you already have that. You're doing it right now. Now, as soon as you hear that fully accept insecurity, what does your mind do? Does it fight back? Does it scream, that's madness, or that's irresponsible, or easy for you to say? Be honest with yourself and be honest in the comments. What is the one specific fear about tomorrow that your mind clings to the tightest? Is it money? Is it health? Is it being alone? Let's just name it. Let's see it for what it is. Because, look, accepting insecurity doesn't mean becoming reckless. This isn't a free pass to be a fool or to not pay your mortgage. It's a skill. It's a practical day-to-day discipline. So the real question is, how the hell do we actually practice this? How do we do this when our heart is hammering in our chest and the fear is telling us to panic and build that wall higher? That's what we need to break down next. All right? So how do we do it? How do we actually practice this? This is where we have to get really practical, because this is where, as I said, so many other channels just float away. They tell you, be the sky and let the fears be clouds, or just be the river. It's beautiful poetry, mate, but it's utterly useless at 3 a.m. when you're in a cold sweat about your job. You can't decide to be the sky. You're too busy being a terrified human being. And that's okay. Alan Watts's how isn't about becoming some abstract metaphor. It's about understanding two mental models and one very simple physical practice. First, we have to completely redefine the word faith. Our whole society defines faith as believing, often against all evidence, that a good outcome will happen. Have faith, it'll all work out. Have faith, you'll be cured. Have faith, you'll get the money. That, according to Watts, is not faith. That's just wishful thinking. It's still grasping, still trying to control the future, just with a spiritual label plastered on it. It's still you telling the universe what you demand the outcome to be. Real faith, the kind that gives you real peace, is not trust in the outcome. It is trust in the process. It is the unshakable, deep down knowing that you can handle whatever happens. Read that again. It's the faith that even if the worst happens, you lose the job, the diagnosis is bad, the relationship ends, you will still be you will still be life, and you will find a way to navigate it. It's trust in yourself as an inseparable part of the universe, not trust in a magical plan that's supposed to protect your ego. This is the solution for those of us facing those very real V7 comments. It's not you'll be cured, it's you will have the capacity to handle being sick. That is real strength. Second, the mental model of who you are. Why do we fear in the first place? Why do we fear losing our health, our money, our loved one? Because we fundamentally believe that I am a separate thing. I am this little isolated ego, this mindful mate talking, this you listening, and I am separate from the world, separate from the money, separate from the body. And because I am separate, I can lose those things. That illusion of separation is the root of all fear. Watts just blows this up. He says, you are not an ego trapped in a body. You are not a stranger who just arrived in this universe. You are the universe. You are an expression of it. You are the whole thing doing the you dance. You didn't come into this world, you came out of it. Like a wave from the ocean. A wave can't be separate from the ocean. It is the ocean in a specific form for a specific time. And you can't fall out of the universe. You are it. The fear only comes when the wave starts to pretend it's not water and gets terrified of the other waves. Okay? So, two big ideas. Trust the process, not the outcome. You are the universe, not a separate ego. But what do? Right now, when the panic hits, here is the one physical exercise that brings it all home. It's the out-breath focus. All anxiety, all fear is a physical act of holding on. Think about it. When you're scared, you hold your breath, you clench your jaw, you tighten your shoulders. It's all grasping, clutching. The mind wants to grasp. The in-breath is greedy. It's I need more air, more life, more control. Watts's practice is to simply reverse this. Stop trying to breathe. Stop trying to get air. Just focus only on the out-breath. Let it go. All the way out, as long and slow as you can. Just let go of the air, and then wait. Don't gasp, just wait. and you will discover a miracle. The in-breath happens all by itself. Life breathes you. You don't have to try to survive. You are being survived. That, right there, is insecurity in practice. It's the physical act of letting go of control, the out-breath, and trusting that the process, the in-breath, will take care of itself. And it always, always does. When you practice this, trusting the process, feeling your connection to the whole, and physically letting go with your breath, a very strange and wonderful thing happens. The fear doesn't necessarily vanish. The bills are still there. But your relationship with the fear changes. It stops being a tyrant and just becomes a sensation, a cloud passing. And that, mate, is the final step. That's the great liberation. Because that liberation, it's not freedom from the fear. It's freedom within it. It's the moment you finally, after all these years, put down the weapons. Mate, you've been at war. You've been at war with reality for decades, fighting your own mind, fighting the future, fighting the very nature of life. You've fought enough. You've planned enough. You've worried enough. You've tried to control enough. You can set that armor down now. This is the final absolution. This is the permission that I think you've been searching for. You can stop trying to fix your fear. You can stop trying to solve your anxiety. You can stop trying to escape your insecurity. Why? Because they were never ever problems to be solved in the first place. They are not signs that you are broken. They are not signals that you are doing life wrong. They are signals that you are a complete, functioning, and fully alive human being. You cannot get rid of insecurity for the exact same reason a wave cannot get rid of wetness. You cannot escape change and fear for the exact same reason the ocean cannot escape having waves. It is the nature of the thing. You are a living, feeling, breathing part of a universe that is, by its very definition, a constant, chaotic, and unpredictable flow. And your fear, your anxiety, your insecurity, that is just you feeling the flow. That's all it ever was. For your entire life, you've been told to swim against this current. You've been trying to build a dam to stop it. You've been frantically grabbing at branches on the riverbank as life pulls you downstream. And it has left you bruised, battered, and utterly exhausted. The antidote was never to build a better dam. The antidote was never, ever security. The antidote is the flow. The antidote is life itself in all of its messy, unpredictable, terrifying, and glorious chaos. Stop fighting it. Stop trying to swim against the current. You are the current. Now, if you felt that heavy burden of tomorrow just lift off your shoulders, even for a second, do me a favor and hit that like button. Let it be a signal to yourself and to me that this core message from the Wisdom of Insecurity actually landed. And look, we all know someone who is drowning in this. That mate, that family member, who is just paralyzed by what if and stuck in that anxious loop about the future. Be a good mate. Send them this video. Don't preach, just send it. It might just be the permission they've been needing, just to breathe. Just breathe. You're already here.